This Week in Fish and Wildlife, sponsored by your local Montana Toyota dealers.
Well, welcome to This Week in Fish and Wildlife. We're at Region 3 headquarters, and the reason I have our Sergeant Matt Wemple with us this morning is because he was saying to me, we have some pretty common violations that are going on, and one that's happening quite frequently right now is the lack of recognition of a spike versus a brow tine bull. Talk to us about what that is and maybe what we have out here.
Sure. So basically we have regulations in different districts that talk about antler restrictions on elk that you can harvest. One of the most common ones we have is brow tine bull or antlerless only. Very, very few districts allow the harvest of a spike bull elk. And these horns right here would be what a spike bull elk looks like. One of the most common self-report violations we get every year is hunters harvesting a spike bull, realizing that it's not legal. The other problem is that a lot of times these spikes are harvested in situations where the hunter didn't intentionally mean to do that. They either didn't wait long enough to look at the antlers, see if it had brow tines or not, distinguish between a cow or a spike, or maybe the antlers were mixed in with tree branches, something of that nature, and they got a little hasty in pulling the trigger and realized only too late that they'd shot a spike bull.
Now, a lot of our regulations say brow tine.
That's right.
So show us the brow tine so that folks know what we're talking about.
Sure. So brow tine, basically, it can be any number of points. It may be only 2 on an elk, but basically they are the tines that come out at the base of the antler branch right here above the brow. Whereas on a spike, you see on this antler, there are a couple, there's a second point starting to form off the top, but that's still a spike bull because it's not, right, it's not at the base of the antler branch. So very, very important to distinguish. We'll hold them right next to the brow tine bull here, and you can see the difference. And so we always want to make sure that we're looking for that.
Few of the other real common violations we get, trespassing, not having permission of a private landowner, for example.
That's correct. So we have 2 different trespassing statutes in Montana. One's called criminal trespass. The other one is called hunting without landowner permission. Hunting without landowner permission is very specific to the sport of hunting, requiring that the hunter know where they are at all times. GPS technology, mapping technology, so many tools we have available today make this a virtual it's an easy thing to mitigate and avoid. Hunters should be able to know where they're at. And if you're not sure, then don't go hunting there.
And finally, one of the issues that gives hunters a bad name is waste of game, especially. Talk to us about what that means.
So obviously, every hunter is obligated to remove all parts of meat suitable for food from the game animals they harvest. Antlers are not legally required to be taken out of the woods, even though most of us, that's one of the things we prize most, but the meat is first and foremost the part that you need to get out. That's the hindquarters, the front shoulders, the back straps, and loins, and on the quarters, it's everything above the hock, basically everything above the knee joint that is required to come out.
We want people to take the time to get to know the regulations. We're always here answering a ton of questions, so feel free to stop by and ask if you're unsure. That's This Week in Fish and Wildlife.
This Week in Fish and Wildlife was brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.